tights, no capes. For all intents and purposes, that was the genre we were doing. A year or so later, I was in a meeting with Eisner where he announced his desire to buy Marvel. And I watched his corporate strategic guys talk him out of it and say, Marvel's a disaster. They've got their rights sold all over the place. So you'd buy the company and then find out you can't make a movie about Spider-Man because they've triple sold the rights to 3 different companies, and Fantastic Four is being held by this company, and blah, 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 blah. And of course, years later, Bob Iger just bought it anyway. And couldn't do X-Men, couldn't do Fantastic Four, couldn't do Spider-Man, at least not at first. Bought it anyway, and of course it's been a huge success for Disney, but Eisner was talked out of it that day. So he turned to us, to Gary and Bruce and myself, and says, can we use Gargoyles to start a Disney superhero universe? And I said, yeah, and we began developing spin-offs, which we would do backdoor pilots for during season 2 of the show. But by the time those things got on the air, Jeffrey had left the company, Rich Frank had left the company, Frank Wells had died, Bruce had left the company. All the main supporters of Gargoyles had gone. And so that notion of using Gargoyles to sort of launch Disney's own superhero universe sort of fell away. But for 3 or 4 months, it was like, this is what we've got to do because we can't buy Marvel, and Warner Brothers has DC. And on one level, and I don't think we even appreciated it at the time, but the great thing about Michael himself picking the shows was that everyone in every division got on board or got out of the way. In the years that followed, when Michael stopped picking the shows personally, those decisions began being made by committee. And you found you had to get literally a unanimous vote in order to sell a show. You needed not just one important person to say yes, or 2 or 3, but literally you needed something like 8 or 9 people to say yes. And if even one said no, the others would jump off the show.